Hello, I'm Narnach. This is my second attempt at recording a vlog. Last week, or 8 days ago, I recorded my first one just to see what it was like. Tested out a webcam, which worked pretty decently. I used the built-in Logitech software to record it, and that was mostly fine. Audio was a bit weird. If I used the microphone on the webcam itself, then it's just quite good that there's a bit of a delay, so that's why I'm using the headset, because then it's a direct capture and there's no lag, and the quality is just better. So, what happened in the last week? There was a big Path of Exile patch that reset the servers for the closed beta, that is. So my character that was almost entering Act 3, no more, wiped. Or that was actually almost in Act 4, wiped. I was in the end of Act 3, almost against Piety, 2 episodes away maybe from entering Act 4. Nope, no more. So next day, downloaded the patch, started the new character. Then I figured, I'm not gonna do an entire episode again, or an entire series again, watching me level basically the same character from start to finish. So I've taken an approach to just recording more content and just taking bits from it and stitching them together, making a single episode from that. I've also been doing a similar approach in my Damage Reflection Templar, which is a relatively new series, and I started out just recording full episodes, and I had a couple of episodes where there were just long walks. I would have to go down somewhere and then get back, and the walk back was not very interesting, or made a town stop and I just goofed around too much in town, crafting items, going over inventory, tidying up my stash, things like that, which is it's stuff that has to be done. It's useful stuff. I don't mind doing it, but for you as the viewer, that's not the interesting thing. That's not what you're here for. So I decided to use the built-in editing tools of XSplit to just trim out the bits that are really boring, and see if I can make the transitions slightly decent. And so far that's working. I'm slowly getting better at it. I'm doing more complex edits. Today I recorded just over an hour of footage for the Damage Reflection Paladin Templar. It's a Templar, yes, and ended up using most of the first half hour for the first episode, recording a couple of extra clips and mixing them in at the beginning and the end, and then somewhere in between. I'm reshuffled some scenes to just make the whole thing flow more organically, to make it flow better. Because in that episode I did some theory crafting, just talking out loud about what my build was going to be, and basically what my plans and intentions were. And I did that while just going through the first part of Act 2, which has low level areas going in both ways. So the content itself didn't demand that much attention, so I had a good opportunity to just explain, which was nice. So while I was going through the lower level areas, I was just explaining my build, which worked fine, but there were some gaps in the explaining, and every once in a while there was a fight and I had to go to town a couple times. So I just cut out all the boring bits, stitched it together and made it flow a bit better. And it was also managed to basically get about 45 minutes of content into just under half an hour, which works pretty well. And then for the second part of that half hour, that hour, I used some of the footage from that, with again some extra recordings as a new opening, and then some extra recordings of basically doing the Chamber of Sins afterwards, and I made the mistake of just staying in town for too long, so the portal closed, so I had to do the Chamber of Sins again, just when I made it halfway through level 3. So there was a lot of Chamber of Sins in that episode, which I also managed to cut out a lot of the boring bits. To, you know, you see me entering an area and then cut to a boss fight, cut to another boss fight, and then cut to next area. So it's nice and speedy. It's a lot faster to watch than it was to record for me. And in the end, I think on producing those 2 videos that each lasted half an hour on YouTube, I think I spent about 4 or 5 hours on that. It takes a lot of time to edit video, especially when you're new and just getting a feel for it. You have to watch through everything, see what's useful to put in cuts, where you want to start getting it out. Choose a nice transition point, take the cut out, see if it flows again, just so you're replaying most of the content at least twice locally, just to see if it flows. And just sometimes you're trying to make the cut as precise as like 2 frames or 3 frames that have to be cut to make it flow better, to get rid of empty last bits of phrases when I was just talking too much and it was no nice way to make a cut, or with sound effects or visual effects. Because if something is about to blow up and the explosion is halfway there and then you cut over to another place where you're just walking, that's weird. So, but if you shave off like 4 frames that you go back to just before the explosion starts and then you cut over, then it's not weird anymore. And it's the same with the character facing and things like that. At some points you see my character going through a doorway, and then I cut to another doorway in the same direction halfway across the level, and it doesn't feel as weird then to make the cuts. I'm getting better at them, and also getting better at just marking where things are useful to cut. Because if I just pause the recording and resume it, then XSplit will insert a marker into the video, and the XSplit video editor will actually pick that up. So there will be nice green marks above the timeline, which I can use for myself as ways to recognize, like, hey, something weird was here. So that's usually when I go to town, I put a mark. Sometimes I just pause it, go through town, go back, and then unpause it, and then the entire town is not there, and you just see that I was gone, that something happened there. But sometimes I go to town to hand a quest, or do some crafting, or do something useful. So then I just put a marker in, do the things in town, put another marker in, so I know, okay, in between this bit I have to fiddle with things for a bit, with maybe cut some video out or not, because it could be that for an intro and outro I do like 2 or 3 takes. If I'm a good example is gem rewards. The first couple of gems up to level 20 or so, early act 2, I got all the gem rewards written down on a piece of paper. So every quest I know, okay, I should pick that one, I should pick that one, I should pick that one. And if I already got my primary skill, I have a backup pick if that's useful at that point. But after a point I didn't have it anymore. So I was just thinking out loud on stream about what skills could be useful, what could not be useful, why a certain skill could be useful or not. And some of that is useful, just thinking out loud why melee splash and lightning strike is not a good combination. It's actually an interesting discussion to just watch, to learn something about the game mechanics that you might not have known. Because I actually had to research a bit to find out, okay, how do the interactions work? Because in Path of Exile there are interactions between skills that you would not guess based on skill descriptions, or some interactions are not there that you would expect based on skill descriptions. So it's always good to consult the wiki, consult Reddit, see what in reality is the interaction between skills. So, but that could get a bit tedious, and especially if I have to alt tab to a browser to just do some research and things like that, then yeah, it could the discussion could take a while. So editing there is definitely useful. And sometimes, you know, I just go on ramble about stuff that's just not interesting in hindsight. Then maybe at that moment something triggers a thought and I just speculate on it. Or sometimes they're actually just dead wrong. I had a whole section about evasion calculations or block rate calculations that just turned out to be wrong in hindsight, and I was actually just discovering that as I was explaining it, what I was reading, and I was like, oh wait, I misread that, so I just cut the entire thing. So it was just didn't add anything to the video. So I hope in that way that my videos are getting better, because you get a more focused experience. Before I would just play for half an hour or for 25 minutes, about roughly. That was my target. Sometimes a couple minutes less, couple times a couple minutes more. Most of the time I just have a timer set next to me that I can keep an eye on, that I just start when I start the video. But no, I sometimes forgot to stop the timer when I pause the game, or just forgot to start the timer, that as well, or started 5 minutes into the video. It just gets annoying that way. So editing also helps me just trim down an episode, and especially in the beginning when I just recorded, I would go down into the sewers and I would walk back out all the way just to save the portal scroll, but that would maybe result in like 1 or 2 minutes of dead content basically in the video. And it's the same for town stops. No, just me going to town and then just deciding, okay, keep that, sell that, keep that, maybe not, maybe yes, considering, looking at things. That's not interesting to watch. So, you know, seeing me open the portal, and then the next cut is just me coming out of the portal and just, you know, telling you, hey, just went to town and I upgraded my weapon, or nothing happened, whatever, just move on. That could, you know, save 3 or 4 minutes of content from the video, in which I can actually, you know, do other stuff, fight a boss, have an interesting encounter, open up a strongbox and nearly get myself killed. I'm actually getting very good at that. Not with the Templar. That guy is just a tank. The way I intended it, and I hope that will stay. But with my now level 13 ranger, the Yena 2, yeah, opening strong boxes, she needs more defenses. She definitely needs more defenses. So another change since last week is that I started using a couple more helper tools for myself, just to keep track, because, you know, with the Templar, I'm now into episode 11 with my recordings. I think it's 11. No, Ranger is into 11, Templar is into 9, my Witch Friend 17 episodes, but that was a Twitch recording, so I didn't really do a lot around that. Rise of Venice, I think I did 12 episodes. So I'm doing a lot of episodes, and YouTube, it's not the best. It doesn't have the best content manager in the world, at least not for tags, because you can't copy paste tags. So, because what I did before, if I would upload, say, episode 5, I would open up episode 4 in the editor, and then I would copy the title and then change it, copy the description and then change it. But for tags I couldn't do that, so I had to type them over all by hand, and that felt really frustratingly annoying. So, but I figured, yeah, they're gonna be different sometimes, so, or I can just add them later on. But it's just annoying. So I came up with a better solution. I just keep notes. So I'm just gonna show those to you first. So, this is my template for my Templar, for example, the Damage Reflection Templar template. Actually, you don't need to have templates behind it. It's the Damage Reflection Templar. So, for the title, I have Chamber of Sins. That's the episode title, episode number. It's the Hardcore Templar Path of Exile 30-day league. Should be a flashback league, but I went with this. So this is my template. So I can just change the title, up the number, and then I can just copy the line and put it in. And it's and I just put it into the edit field into YouTube, and then it conforms to my template. And I'm also updated it to this is basically always the last one. The same goes for the description. My Hardcore Damage Reflection Templar adventures in Path of Exile continue this episode, and then I continue with a summary of what happens in that episode. And then I have a standard footer that I always put I put in there as well now, just to see, a gentle reminder that if you like it, a thumbs up, subscribing, things like that. I'm just trying to slowly get better at promoting my channel. I'm still not heavily promoting it, since I'm just learning so much still that I'm not eager to push it. But things like this, having a good description, having a good title, settling on a better format, I think it helps. Then this is the big trick: standard tags. I include this for every video in this series. These are just general descriptions of the entire series. So Path of Exile, video game. If you type in Path of Exile in the tags, then YouTube will suggest the video game behind it. It's an internal thing, that's why it can categorize that it's about Path of Exile. It's an action role-playing game because that's the genre. It's a video game because that's the industry. It's the 30-day league. It's also added in league. Hardcore, Damage Reflection, because that's the central theme of the build. Templar, and Tempest Shield, because Tempest Shield is my core skill. So these go in every episode that I got. Besides that, there's also episode tags. Currently I'm in Act 2, so Act 2 goes in. But this will change once I move on to Act 3. I should probably add normal difficulty to it as well. Let's do that as well. So, and I use the quotes around it, the double quotes, because that's how YouTube uses it internally as well. And if you select this, copy, paste it into the tag input field, YouTube will recognize them all as tags with the quotes around it. So this is a very nice way to just copy paste tags and things into it that are that makes it easy, because you don't want to type this. It's just monks used to copy books. It's similarly stupid like that when you got a printing press next to you. Don't do it if you can automate it. So this is my current setup for episode titles, and I make custom art for each video, or a custom thumbnail that I upload separately, and then I've already set up my upload settings to basically be correct for everything except for one thing, and that's the date that it got uploaded, or that the video got created, which I always set to today. So that's the one thing I have to do to tap into it. Then I have a second one, and that's a spreadsheet. I actually started with this before I had the notes. And this is just a schedule for myself that I keep of when I am going to launch things on YouTube, because I can't actually set things to publish in advance. I think I don't have enough followers or something like that. I'm just too small of a channel. But so I do it by hand. So every time I record an episode, like you can see here, this is for the Path of Exile League for the Templar, for the Damage Reflection Templar. Today, which is Tuesday, May 6th, 26, I uploaded episode 6, but I've also recorded episodes 7, 8 and 9 already. So I've scheduled those to be released in the coming 3 days. So this way I have some content in advance. You can see I was out of town for 2 days here. So I didn't record anything and I didn't publish anything on those days. And there's a question mark here for maybe, possibly, potentially publishing a video for the Path of Exile beta. I mean, as I said, I got slightly over an hour of footage that I need to edit through, and it's already almost midnight, so I'm not gonna do it tonight. Maybe tomorrow. Same with the question mark for the vlog. No, I wasn't sure if I was going to do it today or not, or upload it today or not, because it could be that, you know, I record it now, but I need to upload it to YouTube as well, and YouTube needs to process it and things like that, so then it's probably gonna get published tomorrow morning. Same with Rimworld. I talked about it last vlog. I played some, I recorded some, just in the middle of a current game of mine. I probably just wanna start a full series on that and just go through beginning to end instead of just having some snippets. Otherwise, I should just actually set it up as let's have a quick look at Rimworld video, but those have been done already, so I might do something like that for Alpha 11, because there's a lot of new changes coming in for Rimworld Alpha 11. And there's another one here for Cortex Command. The other day I watched Bentham of Mangled Pork Gaming launch 4 videos on his YouTube channel about Cortex Command. It was absolutely hilarious. Cortex Command it's basically what you get if you mix Worms, the turn-based to the strategy game with explodable pixels, if you mix that with a real-time strategy game. So you have this brain that you have to protect, and you can just buy dropships that add in more soldiers and things like that, and all your soldiers, they can be under can have simple AI commands like, okay, just dig for gold, and every time it finds more gold you can spend it, or construct a defensive base, or patrol this area, or be a sentry on the spot where you are, or go hunter killer mode and attack the enemy brain. And you can also take control personally of one of them, of the soldiers or the brain itself, and just do it. And the fun thing is that you can have different body types. You can have a choice of a gazillion weapons. Well, not a gazillion, but I think there's at least over 100 weapons. And there's different factions, and each faction everyone can buy all the weapons, but if you're using the weapons of your own faction, they are a lot cheaper, or in reverse, if you're not using things that belong to your faction, they are hella expensive. I think that they might be 4 or 5 times more expensive than usual, but it's an interesting game, and he made it look pretty easy to play. He was supposed to know a little bit clumsy in the first couple of videos, but he made some really nice plays. And it's not as easy as he makes it look. It's a pretty difficult game. So I just wandered in on normal difficulty, not knowing what I did. I played the tutorial, of course, but that's very short, very simple. But building new robots in real time, assembling squads, calling down dropships, sending things across the map, it takes some multitasking skills. And the interface takes some getting used to, because there's only like 6 buttons and a right mouse button and a left mouse button. That's it. So the control scheme is pretty simple, but with that there's a whole menu in which you have to use to build robots and things like that. And that's just that's interesting. Let's see, go back to full screen. Yes. So let's see, any more? No, I think that was kind of it. So that's for the upcoming week. That's also good. So I'm probably not making promises, but I'm probably going to record some Rimworld, going to record some Cortex Command, and just put maybe a first video of each up. Rise of Venice. Yeah, I like it. There's probably other people who like it, but they haven't found my channel yet. So the last couple of videos, really no interest. So I'm just putting the series on hold until either I get some views on it or the series gets more established. or my channel gets more established or something like that, or if I just feel like playing it. But currently for the channel there's other games I can play that people are more interested in. Path of Exile Beta, it's been my most popular thing so far, so I'm definitely going to continue that. The Damage Reflection Templar, I'm just having a ton of fun, and he's in the flashback league, so every day there's different mods. Though today we had the same mods as yesterday, so I'm not quite sure what's up with that. Yeah, so that's it, I think. Diablo 3, maybe, I don't know. I've played it a lot already. I actually have a semi Damage Reflection Templar build there as well, or Crusader. Yes, it's called a Crusader there. It's not a Templar, a Crusader. So I got the Damage Reflection build there as well, because I like Damage Reflection builds. But I don't think I'm gonna stream that or record it anytime soon. Oh, other news! Smite. They are working on a squirrel. I love squirrels. I really love squirrels. They're my favorite animal. They're just cute and fluffy, and they're squirrely. And they're working on a squirrel god, Ratatoskr, some kind of Norse messenger god who walks up Yggdrasil, the world tree. So he is. I saw a dev video and it looks like a ton of fun to play. So yeah, I actually just updated my Smite again and just played some. There's no scroll yet, so I just settled for Anubis, which is apparently that's the god I played the most before. So I just settled on just playing some matches against the AI with him. It's fun. It's Smite is still fun. It's I played a lot of Heroes of the Storm in the closed beta. Probably February, March. That's all I played. That's one of the main reasons I kind of let my channel fall into relative silence during that time period, because I was just playing it a lot in a being pretty competitive about it, just checking ratings, playing with a group of people that's we had about a dozen or so people that just rotated in and out. Some were online every day, so we always had about 5 people online to play with, and I played that a lot. It's definitely, it takes a lot of the complexity and annoyance out of MOBAs. So thank you for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you made it this far and somehow managed to not like the video, you can do a thumbs down, but I doubt that you have made it this far. Please consider subscribing. I put out at least 1 or 2 videos a day, as you saw in the schedule, and I try to keep that up. So if you subscribe, you get notified of that every day. That's something new is there, and you can just stay up to date, especially if you got some favorite series. The thumbsing up and down and just watching things to the end, it helps me decide on what series stay and what series go. As you know, Patrician or no, Rise of Venice is out because no one watches it. Yeah. And new funds get added for a couple of episodes, and if either I lose interest or people don't watch it enough, then I just might decide to stop streaming it or stop recording it or whatever. Okay, so that was kind of an addendum to what I was already saying. So I thank you for watching, and have a good evening, or morning, or afternoon, or night, or whenever you're watching this. Bye bye.